friends, welcome back to Hyderabad Now, and in this video today we're going to explore the recent formation of Andhra Pradesh government and also the impact of that in Hyderabad real estate. So as most of you know, today the Andhra Pradesh election has been completed and the results has been declared. So a new government would be formed in Andhra Pradesh. So what that would mean for Hyderabad real estate is something everyone has been asking for. In this video we're going to briefly discuss about the impact of that and what should exactly you do in this current scenario. So some of the things people are suspecting about basically are three things. First of all, high net worth individuals and Andhra Pradesh people would invest in AP instead of investing in Hyderabad, because they have been investing in Hyderabad for last 7 to 8 years primarily, with a lot of growth prospects seen in Hyderabad. But recently with the change in government and a lot of development is expected over here there in Andhra Pradesh, so a lot of people who are high net worth individuals or people from Andhra Pradesh would eventually go back and invest in Andhra Pradesh. That's the suspect number one people are having. The second thing people are thinking about is a lot of people, their first preference, whether they are from Telangana or from Andhra Pradesh, if they are high net worth individuals, their first preference is always Hyderabad. But the second preference also had been in Hyderabad. But with this recent change, their second home could be in Andhra Pradesh. So that is something which is suspected. The third point is the lack of development in Telangana in last few months, and at the same time, a lot of development being anticipated in Andhra Pradesh would probably divert a lot of potential investment in Hyderabad to Andhra Pradesh. So these are the three basic issues that people are thinking about which can impact Hyderabad real estate market. But we're going to discuss what exactly you can do, primarily taking into account 5 different points that you should be focusing on. Point number 1 is Hyderabad is definitely a global city, and if you look at the growth prospects and the job opportunities in Hyderabad is much more superior to any city in Andhra Pradesh. So from that point of view, Hyderabad would always be the choice of most of the people of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana. But that being said, you have to be focusing on specific areas. So if you're looking for Hyderabad, you can't just rely on any part of Hyderabad. You should be focusing on areas where there's a lot of growth prospect, especially where a lot of job opportunities will be created, which could mean areas near to financial district or Neopolis, and those areas could be Kollur, Tellapur, Mokila, Kokapet. So these are the areas we should concentrate, because irrespective of the government and irrespective of whatever happens in Andhra Pradesh, the job prospects of these areas is going to improve, and definitely with that, and these areas would continue to grow in Hyderabad. Point number 2 is you should be pretty much focused on pricing, and it was always true that you should focus on pricing, but in the current scenario this is even more true. Like, you have to focus on the pricing, and if you're looking for some apartments, let's say in these 4 areas which I talked about, like Kollur, Tellapur, Mokila or Kokapet, these areas, Kokapet you can probably negotiate a price of 8,000 to 9,000 rupees per square feet, and maybe 7,000 rupees max in Tellapur, and maybe 5,000 to 5,500 in Kollur. So that should be your ceiling, at least for the next few months, maybe to a year. And if it goes beyond that, you have to see for options and you should negotiate to get this pricing before you invest in these areas. And the third point is, do not blindly invest in Hyderabad. So your investment should be primarily focusing on areas which is nearer to Outer Ring Road and areas which are specifically closer to West Hyderabad and South Hyderabad, because these two areas are eventually going to win in the long run. And definitely West Hyderabad is number 1, and areas nearer to the airport, especially in South Hyderabad, would also continue to grow, and that's where you should invest, and stay closer to the Outer Ring Road and invest in those areas. And the fourth point is just be closer to the IT corridor. That means stay closer to financial district, high-tech city and Neopolis, and any area which is maybe say 5 to 6 kilometers from this area are definitely going to prosper irrespective of whatever happens in a political sense. But these areas will continue to grow and the prices will continue to increase over there in these areas. It can stagnate for a few months or maybe to a year or so, but eventually it will continue to grow for these areas. And finally, you should be cautious for next 1 to 2 years. Just be vigilant of what's happening in Telangana and what's happening in Andhra Pradesh, and do not have fancy investments where you will not be able to pay EMIs for those. So just be within your limits and buy something where you can easily be able to pay the EMIs. And also, if you are looking to invest kind of one-time payment, then look for opportunities which is at least 10% to 20% below the market price. And in this current scenario, you can definitely negotiate and get that pricing and invest